This is Outnumbered. I'm Andrea Tanteros. Here today, Harris Faulkner, Sandra Smith, Jedediah Bila, and today's hashtag agency that is supposed to be known and experts in record keeping. They can't seem to not just get their story straight, they can't seem to, Jedediah, that maybe the best way to go about things, and a lot of lawmakers are weighing in on this, is to not target the lowest learners, because the top brass have pled the fifth and ran away, but it's the mid and lower level staffers. Elizabeth Hofaker, when D.C. tried to say, oh, it was that Cincinnati office, she's
our sanitation men and school teachers
and then Cold-Hearted Snake would skip on my little disc man.
That's a great song.
But even if they scratch this, we've already been told by legal experts, and I'm sure Arthur could weigh in on this, that they broke the law by not having backups in the first place. So it doesn't even matter if it's scratched or not.
They were supposed to keep those hard copies. That
is not the answer.
But the other thing, you know, is that why? Because the story is changing. The needle has moved on this. We've gone from it was destroyed to
they used fake social security numbers, sometimes no social security number, and subsidized health insurance. The other says that we.
Do you think that response was correct, first of all, Ted Cruz's response? Do you think he sort of gave the right response given the situation? Kind of funny, kind of political. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're whining. If you don't like HBO, don't subscribe to HBO, okay? We know the left and Hollywood targets conservatives. I actually agree. I think it makes Republicans look good in this, because the woman was actually seeking refuge from Ted Cruz's fundraiser, but she was attacked by the vampires. What I would rather speak out about, and I think if conservatives want to say something, they should call out the hypocrites, because the violence in that particular scene was egregious. I mean, the way that they use guns and the way that they profit off of guns. Where are all the celebrities that like to lecture us about gun violence?
Think about that all the time. And remember that this was we see.
Well, yeah,
so
there's no
many
such
of
thing as
them,
bad
and
press.
they just love
And you
when
can't
they
be
are
that
mentioned in pop
thin-skinned.
culture.
Right.
They get very excited,
I agree with that
and then they sit and they say, oh, what should we say? We should craft a response. I've been there. I've helped them do it.
I agree with that.
I think he should have said, you know what? I got bigger fish to fry.
How much of the vampire audience actually knew who Ted?
The hope is that they'll Google him and get more, you know, enraged. But
West on this, and whatever they decide, we need to have Europe.
Oil money.
Russia, they need to target Russia's economy, which right now is extremely fragile. Arthur, you know, you do business in Italy. Russia's GDP is half that of Italy. I mean, we're talking about a very fragile economy. These sanctions that Jeddah and Andrea are talking about, they need to target Russia's energy industry, needs to target their financial industry. They need to go after them where it hurts. And guess what else we can be doing? We could be gaining more energy independence in the United States, because right now the leverage that Putin has is natural gas over Europe.
Well, sure, and as he tries to annex more areas, I mean, we saw him cutting off utilities to different areas, and now that he's trying to annex this part of Ukraine, he's already taken Crimea.
They used to know the U.S. had their back on things when it was Reagan and other presidents. Now they think, is Obama going to have our back if we take a strong stance? Everybody has to be strong and have a backbone. I'm not sure that we all do that. Okay, the IRS, the VA, I get it now. And on and on. They can't even get their story straight.
I get it now. We watch the news.
I'm doing my own thing anyway. I'm not obsessing over what the news is saying.
Isn't that what's happening here?
Were his comments when you heard him in the first place, and you heard Jay Carney saying, "We found out about it from the news."
Ridiculous.
I mean, if you're going to give an excuse, don't give one that makes you look completely incompetent,
or makes it look once again like they think we're a bunch of idiots, like we're sitting home and saying, "Oh."
Just to, you know, kick it old school with a scandal. I mean, you know.
Every time they're doing cleanup, I think from a PR perspective, it makes it worse. Because now if he's saying, I already know everything, I knew all this, then he chose inaction. He chose not to speak up about the VA scandal. He chose to not do anything about the IRS. And he already knew. I mean, this thing gets messier the more lies you tell.
I can hear Art in the back of my shows are, and this is according to the Telegraph.
News from
Sports Center.
Yeah. New violence in Gaza. Neither side appearing close to backing down.
Keys for proficient right across the board. Would you know what that meant?
You know, I'm taking
a 98%. Those are three very different levels of assessment and learning when it comes
to the fifth grade. 6th grade, we started.
Did you have this?
It was something similar. I was actually going to.
Shows self-control. The disciplinarian. My mother was the cook.
So let me say something. I agree with you, Harris, and the competitive.
I'm outnumbered.
You are.
You know why? Because
I don't like it
I
either,
remember used to have I would cram for a test, and if I got an A, the teacher knew that maybe I wasn't getting the best grades. She would say, I'm I'm in progress on this.
Yeah.
I'm not really doing exceptional because she knows I just
find that
ran
hard
right
to believe,
before the
Andrea.
class.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
in
that's
mathematics,
interesting.
that's what I did. So I actually like this.
Erica, is it like too much? Are we too involved?
This
Or
is
is this a
spot
good
on.
thing? Sandra, you are the athlete. Well, you're actually, everyone here is more athletic than I am. But let's just go with like the lady in red.
I happen
since you're
to talk-
very intimidating wearing red.
Oh.
We'll get to that in a moment.
That's gonna be another
We'll get to that in a moment.
Hold back. I actually talked to the head of the NFL Hall of Fame yesterday, and he alluded to the fact that all sports evolve over time. And there are medical professionals that have come out in full force saying that there are lasting effects of these concussions. I have a lot of nephews who play football. I'm concerned about it all of the time. He says the NFL's...
If this saves a child from growing up to be an adult who plays a sport,
By saying I spoke to Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player ever, and he said it's a good idea.
Everybody listen to the lady in red, please.
well done.
Women who want to befriend other women, you may want to leave that red dress at home. I'm not listening. How her fellow women, how they see the lady in red. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
I'm
You just
thinking it's
snapped
all
at me. I gotta
good.
get over it.
All good in the hood.
She
not like
snapped at
me
me
today.
earlier, though.
Hey, listen,
It's true.
by the way, they did this study with women. They showed pictures to the people who answered the question of who looked, the most threatening. They used white, Jedediah. They used green, Harris, and they used red. So by overwhelming
blue.
response, it was the red. But listen, red's the color of fire. It's the color of blood. It's
It's where your eye goes. So
I'm buying a red car because I don't want their insurance
But
to
who
go
cares
up.
about making friends with other women?
That's it. Tell us.
there you
Tell
go,
it like
baby.
it is, Andrea.
Let's
Let
be
it
honest.
out.
Women don't care. Women want to attract men. They want to attract men's attention. I think you look awesome,
Oh,
Sandra.
thank you,
And I'm your
Andrea.
friend, too.
And you're my friend.
Would you introduce your guy to her dressed like that?
She's a married woman.
Listen,
All right.
That's
yes, of
But
course.
of course. I mean, look, if I can't introduce a guy to a woman in a red dress, I'm probably not with the right guy.
Okay. I'm going to ask on the live chat right now what you mean by boom. We're going to stay right here for